three-dimensional globe into a two-dimensional map. His remarkable theorem, that's not a joke, but a translation of the theorem's Latin name, while jargony and full of technical assumptions, boils down to this simple fact. Perfectly reducing 3 dimensions to 2 is impossible. We can't make a perfect map on a flat surface. This book explores Gauss's remarkable theorem and other mathematical developments that reveal the way we make maps and consequently see the world. Maps represent reality, but we can take full advantage of these visual aids only when we understand the underlying maths. Otherwise, we're prone to draw wrong conclusions and inherit the map maker's biases, whether intentional or not. For example, in Chapter 2, we'll see different distortions resulting from different ways of depicting the globe on a flat sheet of paper, and we'll gain mathematical tools to protect ourselves from being fooled by those deformations. Beyond interpreting a map, we can use maths to turn a map into a solution to a real-life problem. In Chapter 7, for example, we'll tackle situations in which maps and maths together can protect people from danger, be it a disease or a serial killer. With mathematical tools and insights, we can get much more information from a map than with our eyes and intuition alone. These maths-supported applications of maps become increasingly important with improving technology and computational power. Throughout the book, we'll see many examples of how mathematics and cartography inform each other, a relationship which has inspired the book's title. While different on the surface, the jobs of a mathematician and a cartographer are surprisingly similar. To create useful models of real-world phenomena, both mathematicians and mapmakers must choose the information to keep and omit, and different choices will lead to different conclusions. This is why we need to understand not only what we see, but what we don't see when presented with a map or a mathematical model. As we'll learn, failure to do so may lead to anything from a commuter walking a few steps too many to an international conflict. We'll look at maps covering all scales and topics, from world maps to plans of our local streets, from counterintuitive mosque orientations to misleading underground maps. We'll visit ancient Greece to estimate the radius of the Earth with unbelievable precision without satellites or photography. We'll pop into 18th-century Königsberg, a Prussian city whose 7 bridges inspired a new field of mathematics called graph theory. We'll also step into the world of fractal dimensions, and while we marvel at the surprisingly complex nature of a mundane cauliflower, we'll understand why measuring a country's borders is all but impossible, and what geopolitical consequences this has. We can't function without maps. We depend on them when we commute, travel, and interpret the news, but also when we fight diseases, catch criminals, and search for missing planes. Maps have been fueled by mathematics and have also inspired numerous mathematical breakthroughs. Once we notice this connection between mathematics and cartography, we won't be able to unsee it, and it will help us to understand how our world works. Chapter 1. Curved. How to describe the Earth. Like so many people, I grew up believing that until the brave Christopher Columbus's discovery of America, people were convinced that the Earth was flat. In history classes, we were taught that in 1492, Columbus, sailing westward from Palos de la Frontera in Spain, reached what he believed to be the Indies, East Asia. This marked the end of the Middle Ages and the beginning of the Renaissance, or, as our textbooks claim, the end of the Dark Ages and the start of the Age of Discovery. Without the great Columbus, our geography teachers would have been showing us continents and oceans on a pancake-shaped globe. The myth that Columbus wanted to sail to Eastern Asia to prove that the Earth was spherical seems to stem from Washington Irving's 1828 fictional biography, History of the Life and Voyages of Christopher Columbus.